Hello and goeiedag, and welcome to the world's most complicated international border. This is Bala, a town of roughly 10,000 people, divided by the border between Belgium and the Netherlands. But instead of splitting the town neatly down the middle, here they chose chaos. We've got 22 tiny enclaves of Belgium inside the Netherlands, and 8 tiny enclaves of the Netherlands inside Belgium, 7 of which are technically counter-enclaves. In other words, they're little bits of the Netherlands inside little bits of Belgium inside the Netherlands. This place is basically Disneyland for geography nerds.
2 house numbers depending on which country you're in.
So today we're going to be exploring the best bits of these bonkers borders and trying to explain how Bala actually works, or sometimes doesn't work, in practice. Which at one point was at the centre of the Bala Butter Wars. Of course, we're not exactly the first YouTubers to come here, so there might be some repetition in this video if you've seen the other ones, but we're going to try and find at least one thing you haven't heard before. And on the flip side, Bala is so full of stories, we're probably going to miss at least one thing you thought we should have talked about. So where better to start than exactly where we finished the last video, which, as regular viewers may still just about remember, was next to the town's former railway station, having just cycled here all the way from Belgium. Via the Netherlands. Via Belgium. Via the Netherlands. Via... You get the idea. Right, Gabe. We are in Bala Nassau.
We are. Are we in Nassau?
We are, yes, we're in a Dutch
now.
bit, so we're in Bala Nassau, and the station is just there.
The Wok Wonderland.
The Wok Wonderland.
And then there's a border right there that goes through a supermarket of some sort. And then I don't know where the next border along would be.
Well, it just so happens I was about to suggest, why don't we do a tour?
Let's do it.
Let's do the highlights of Bala Nassau since we're here. So, I reckon first thing we want to do is go to the smallest enclave in the world.
That is somewhere on the western side of the town.
Correct. So I think we're heading down
That way.
This way. Where's my fingers? This way.
Where's my fingers, did I hear you just ask there? It's this building, I think. Yeah, H7. It's the smallest enclave worldwide.
Yeah. So yeah, this is literally the entire enclave. That's one border there.
Yeah, it goes from just next to that house on the floor there, then down these metal markings in the middle of the road, down to just where those 2 roads meet, that junction, and then turns left straight into that front door.
Straight into the front door.
And then it goes maybe a couple dozen meters back that way, and then that's it. Comes back
Yeah,
around.
I think it goes back to the hedge.
Yeah,
Pretty much. And that's the entire enclave.
that is it.
Right, well, we've got to go into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I remember there was one of the enclaves on the Fenbahn, which was literally just someone's house.
Yeah, that's called Rückschlag, I
That's
think.
the one.
Yeah.
And I think this one is the same, it's just it's a smaller house.
I also do love the fact that it seems to have 2 house numbers depending on which country you're in.
Yeah.
And I will say, however,
And 2 doorbells.
2 doorbells. That really doesn't seem necessary.
I wanted to find out how this house actually works, because normally in Bala, the rule is if a border goes through your building, then the country where your address is registered, where you pay taxes to and get utilities from, is the one where your front door is. In some cases, this has led to people moving their front door in order to change which country they technically live in. But at this address, the border goes right through the front door. And so, uniquely, you get to choose which address you want to register when you move into the house. And apparently, the country the residents usually choose is Belgium. So I guess that is round 1 to the Belgians. But the place we're going to next was the scene of an even more serious battle. So this is the De Hoop milk factory, which at one point was at the centre of the Bala Butter Wars. One thing you have to be good at living in Bala is international relations. And for many years, the De Hoop dairy was a shining example of cooperation between the 2 communities. They were the only dairy in town, so they bought milk from both Dutch and Belgian farmers, paid them the same prices, sold it as butter, and everyone was happy. The problem happened when the bottom fell out of the Dutch butter market in the 1950s. Basically, Dutch eating habits had begun to change, and people were using margarine instead. And the thing about margarine is, it is not made from milk, usually. So if your farming business relies on selling milk to a Dutch dairy, this is bad news. Suddenly, Bale's Belgian farmers realised they could make much more money selling their milk to a dairy back in Belgium, where demand for butter was still high. And in a dramatic move, the Belgian farmers threatened to pull out of 50 years of happy cooperation. At which point the De Hoop dairy basically said, fine, why don't you try? And the Belgian farmers said, fine, we will. Only to discover that in this specific region of Belgium, demand for Belgian butter had gone through the floor. And would you like to guess why? Because everyone had realised you could now get much cheaper butter from the Netherlands and was smuggling it back over the border. Apparently, it all worked out rather well for the dairy. So I reckon round 2 goes to the Dutch. But speaking of battles and wars and such like, what happens here if there's a real war? For example, how did Bale work in World War I when Belgium was occupied, but the Netherlands was not?
Right, well, this is where the statue was. Well, I say statue. It was a, what was it, recreation?
Reconstructed World War I era communications array.
Yes.
And it was right here, apparently, according to, we've matched up the photo with the house in the background and that, and it's gone. It was right here.
In World War I, the 22 little Belgian enclaves of Bale Hertog were one part of Belgium the Germans couldn't get to, because the only way of getting there was to invade the Netherlands. Realising that Bale was in this unique position, the Belgians somehow managed to secretly sneak in a 40-metre radio mast, and then used it to jam German communications, much to the annoyance of the occupying army, who could do very little about it.
Right, well, this used to be one of the highlights of Bale Hertog Bale Nassau.
Hold on, is that what I think it is? Is that actually the border? It is. You can literally swing from one country into the other. That's about the best I can do. This is dignified. There you go. Whoa, my hips literally don't fit.
We believe these are probably designed for children.
Yeah, and that's not just being said to make us feel better about ourselves.
So I reckon round 3 has to go down as a joint victory against Imperial Germany. You know what? Let's just call it a draw. And that leaves us with one final, very special destination on our nerdy geographic tour. But just before we get there, I feel like I should answer a question some of you may be asking, which is, how did Bale get these borders in the first place? Well, like many bonkers border stories, it begins with an argument between two blokes several hundred years ago. This time it's Hendrik or Henry I, Duke of Brabant, and Dirk VII, Count of Holland. Anyway, these two get into a bit of a kerfuffle over who owns the land around Bale, which Henry eventually wins, but only with help from his mate Godfrey, the Lord of Breda. And in exchange for his help, Henry gives Godfrey a small chunk of the land.
Thank you.
Except he can't quite give him the whole chunk, because he's also promised to give a few plots of the land to his own soldiers.
Oh, I see.
So you end up with a kind of mad medieval patchwork, with some bits of land now belonging to Godfrey, and other bits belonging to Henry's soldiers, and therefore, ultimately, still belonging to Henry. These parcels of land then get handed down through generations and generations of royal families, I'm skipping a lot of details here, until 1830, when Belgium declares independence from the Netherlands, and suddenly this patchwork of poorly defined medieval parcels is the international border between the two countries. And while other similarly crazy borders were ironed out by various treaties and land swaps, for some reason, Bale never was, leaving us with some entertainingly ridiculous geographical anomalies, like this one.
It's in this field.
In this field.
Somewhere in here, yeah. Yeah, that must be it, that little stump there. Okay. That's the field boundary. That's not walkable. Should we go around?
Yeah.
Or maybe, hang on, is that a path in the middle there?
It's worth investigating, isn't it?
Yes, that is a path. I don't know how bikeable it is.
Should we leave the bikes here and just walk into it?
Yeah.
So is this it?
We are about to enter it, I think.
We're about to enter H2,
Yeah.
which means the crossing point is here.
Yeah, so that little post down there, you probably can't see it that well.
Yeah.
That's where, oh God, it's hard to describe.
We're essentially looking at a checkerboard,
Yes.
almost.
So you've got this quadrant is Belgium.
This
and
is Belgium.
And the far quadrant is
That's
Belgium.
Belgium.
And then the two other ones there and here are the Netherlands.
Are both Netherlands.
Okay, it might look like I'm just showing you the middle of a field, and in many ways that is what I'm doing, but this is one of only 2 places in the world where an international border crosses over itself. Some of you may know where the other one is, and yes, it is very much on my list of places to go. There are also several other locations in Bala, like here, 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 and here, where it looks like the border crosses over itself, but then you zoom right in, and it doesn't quite.
So it's a Belgian enclave, another Belgian enclave, and are either the Netherlands bits enclaves or are they just normal Netherlands?
No, they're just normal Netherlands.
normal Netherlands.
No counter enclaves here.
Yeah, just Netherlands.
Yeah.
Gabe, thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you very much for inviting me. This has been
a
very
pleasure.
exciting.
What on earth was your channel called again?
It was called What on Earth? It is called What on Earth Is This? It's good. You should check it out.
Yeah, there may well be another video coming up / already out on Gabe's channel featuring me, where we go somewhere else.
Somewhere else,
that we
near
haven't
here.
100% planned yet.
No, not quite.
So that's going to be good.
Yeah, it will be. Or it is. If it's already out, it was very good.
It was,
And
yeah.
you should watch it.
Yeah. They might not have already. Oh, this is getting very complicated.
I know, it's getting very
It's getting
meta.
very pedantic. Right, should we check the bicycles haven't been stolen?
Yes, let's do that.
Was that good?
It was pretty good.
It'll do, won't it?
I feel like my explanation of the borders was not good.